Hi, friends. Thanks for coming to my Patreon page. My name is Shozan Jack Hobner, and I was a Zen Buddhist monk for 13 years. I'm now a lay Zen Buddhist priest. I'm the author of the books Zen Confidential and Single White Monk, although I'm probably best known for swallowing 13 living goldfish in 30 seconds in college on a dare. I'm not proud of that, but you have to admit it is impressive. Okay, what I want to talk to you about today is a practice called Takahatsu that we did at the monastery, and a guy named Richard. So once a week, I would wake up at 4 a.m., throw on all my robes, make sure my head was totally cleanly shaven, unlike it is today. I would hop in our Toyota Tacoma and go down the mountain switchbacks, get on the 10, and head west to the LA Produce Market. Once I was there, I would walk to the end of the loading dock. Okay, the LA Produce Market is chaos. There's people changing money and smell of rotten cabbage and fresh garlic and people swearing at each other and sometimes me in Spanish. And in the midst of all this, I would do standing meditation. So I would put my right hand on my sternum, my left hand over that. My eyes would be about 3 feet in front of me, spine erect, breathing deeply, taking it all in, no judgment, no thinking, exhaling, letting my inner world out. Basically standing meditation. Okay. Eventually, I would feel this hand on my shoulder, and I'd hear this gruff Italian-American accent from the guy behind me. This was Richard. He was the owner of Umina, he was basically one of our biggest patrons. Sometimes he would ask us to pray for people in his family, people that were sick. So I remember one time he said, "I got a problem this week, and I need your help. My sister's got the cancer. Pray for her." I didn't tell him that we don't actually necessarily pray in Zen Buddhism, but I would hold the people that he told us about in my heart, in my sitting. And I was so happy 3 weeks later when he said, "I don't know what you did, but my sister's fine. Whatever you did, it worked." So I always think of Takahatsu as the ultimate practice in the world. You're wearing your full robes and you're standing there while all around you people are selling produce and shouting at each other, and there's crates smashing into the back of semis, and sometimes people would, "Psst, padre, padre, padre." They'd stand behind me and taunt me and troll me. "Padre, padre." It was a symbol of everything that people go through when they're trying to maintain a spiritual life in the human world. Eventually, as a Zen monk, you have to come back down into the human world and re-immerse yourself in the thrill of human life. So after 13 years, it came time for me to leave the monastery. You can read about it. It's a fun story in the About section here on my Patreon page. But suffice to say, I traveled around a lot. I came to Vienna in Europe, where my lived, and I met a beautiful friend of his. She had a 12-year-old son at the time. He's 16 now. She and I have been together ever since, and I moved to Vienna. So now I am here, fully immersed in the human world, worrying about bills, trying to not lose my crap when people are shouting at me in German, a language I don't understand. The heat is getting turned up now. We're in the middle of summer. There's electricity outages, all the problems of living in a human world, living a human life. That's what I got now, just like you. And 4 years ago, I left the monastery. 4 years ago, I stopped doing practice with Richard Takahatsu. But I've never stopped wondering, how do I do Zen in the real world, just like I used to do it, standing on that loading dock in my robes, doing standing meditation with Richard. I thought about this page for a long time. Basically, 4 years ago when I left the monastery, I knew I had to do something like this, but I sat with it, I let it gestate, I ignored it, I forgot about it, and then maybe 2 months ago, it hit me like a ton of bricks that it was now time to start this online practice community. The fundamental question I want to ask here is, how do you practice in the world? And you don't have to be a Zen Buddhist to be asking this question. You don't have to be religious at all. I don't even know if at this point, even though I'm an ordained lay Rinzai Zen Buddhist priest, if I even fully consider myself Buddhist, okay? I was always just trying to find a principle by which I could orient my life, a North Star, and a practice by which I could put that principle into practice. Zen Buddhism was the best system that I found. Now I'm out in the world doesn't care what you are, you know? And on some level, you probably don't care what you are. You just want to live a meaningful, purposeful, rich, non-bullshit life while taking care of your family, doing your job, growing old, having kids, having grandkids, the whole 9 yards. These are all things I want to explore and tease out into the open and share with you on this Patreon page. At the end of Takahatsu, after Richard was telling us his troubles and asking us to pray for various people, he would always tell me to say, when you go back up the mountain, say hello to my guys. So that's what he called us monks. He called us his guys. And we really felt like we were his guys. We really felt like he was our patron and he was taking us under his wing and we were connected to him. So my way into this very strange experience of sitting in front of a camera and trying to talk you guys into this, my way in is Takahatsu. I think of this project, I think of myself as your guy, and I'm asking you to be my Richard. To get this project off the ground, I need patrons, and I need help. So I'm asking you for help, and I'm inviting you to be my Richard, and I'm offering to be your guy. And I think it will benefit not just me and you, but hopefully the people that we come into contact with as we go about our day. That's the spirit of Takahatsu. That's the spirit of practice in the world. And that's the spirit that I want to bring to this Patreon page. So with deep gratitude, thank you and welcome.